Okay, here we have this 39-inch LED TV. This is an Insignia, and as you can see, we've got it plugged in. You see the red light is on, and we're going to power it up. Hit the power. The light blinks a few times, and the picture and or backlight should come up by now. As you can see, there's absolutely nothing. So the first thing that I always do is just double check using a nice bright flashlight. Put it up against the screen. As you can see, I do see some words there. And as a matter of fact, I can go ahead and hit the menu button. Make it very obvious for you. And as you can see, you can definitely see the menu on the screen. So we either have a backlight, a bad LED, backlight problem, or, well, we have a backlight problem either way it goes, but that can either be caused by a bad LED inside of the screen here, or it can be caused by the main board not sending the backlight on or LED on signal to the power supply to shut on the LED circuit. But in most cases, as we know, it's probably a bad LED, so we'll go ahead and take this baby apart and find out exactly what's going on. Okay, so we got our TV on our table here. I just covered it up with a blanket. And what the model number on this set is as you can see on the second line, is a NS39D as in David 310 NA15. I believe there's like an NA16 and 17, pretty much all the same set, 39-inch TV. So we'll proceed to take the back off. I shouldn't have to go through the whole thing, same as the other videos. Look for hidden screws, a screw there, screw there. They're probably about, I don't know, 12 or 15 screws, and there's some screws in the bottom here. Okay, we have our back cover off. And you can see there's really nothing much to this TV, just the one board, which is used for the power supply, main board, and also the LEDs. Just a one board, what we call a one board wonder. Okay, and speakers and the little IR keypad, and of course the keypad on the left, and the infrared detector with the standby light on it. It's right down here. But what we want to concentrate on are the LEDs. So we're actually going to find the plug for the LEDs, which should be on this board. Okay, so I've located the plug for the LEDs right here on top of this one board wonder. It is right there. As you can see, that is going to the LEDs inside the TV. Right through there on the other side. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is actually check it. I'm just going to assume that the which is normally that it just has one line, so it probably only has like one or two strips inside of this TV with a few LEDs on each strip. But I'm going to get my LED checker. Like I said, you got a red wire and one black wire, so pretty much self-explanatory, hopefully. And I'm going to check it and see if it's even open or not. Just going to unplug it. Hopefully you can see that. Hopefully. Okay. And I'm going to stick my red and the red and black on black. It did not bulge at all. Still at 305, it means it's open. My meter is good, see? Okay. And I'm just going to reverse it just to make sure that these aren't mismarked or anything. Okay. Still open, as you can see. Nada. Okay. Now, another thing we can do, just to be sure, hopefully that's the only problem. I have had some sets that the LEDs will actually burn out the power supply. But that's very few. I'm just going to go ahead and plug it back in. Take my meter here, put it on DC volts. Whoops, whoops. Okay, we want to plug in the TV. And I think the TV automatically comes on that plug in, and I'm just going to check for voltage here. I'm going to put, I can do it two ways. I can put my positive into positive and ground it, or go across positive and negative. Okay. Just going to ground it. And looks like it's at 100. It went up to 125, and now it is going down. Okay, so the TV automatically turned on and plugged in, and so we did get voltage there. And if I go to my feedback line or negative line, it should get 0 because we have an open LED. Yeah, it's like looks like millivolts, I believe. Yeah, it's like 9 millivolts. But okay, now because this TV does not use a T-con board, first thing I do, like in every video for an LED change, I'm going to disconnect this cable coming from the main board going to the T-con board, and we want to do that because we don't want any voltage, any live voltage coming through here to this to these video driver boards, whatever you want to call it, that this uses. So we just go ahead and disconnect it. Now, if it's made like this, don't like yank on the wires because it's gonna, you could actually break one of the wires that's loose in there. Try to pull it off from the plug first. And then if it's kind of hard, just kind of wiggle it around with the wires. Don't actually yank on it. And as you can see, it's coming right out. Okay, so we eliminated that. And then we'll follow that wire down, and as you can see, that wire goes right into a driver board. Usually sets this small don't actually need T-con boards. Unless it's like running 3D or got some special HDR or something, but it's a regular TV. So we'll just disconnect this because obviously that driver board is connected to the panel, to the screen, so we don't want to yank that, and that is out of the way. And then because we unplugged the main board, just the other end, we could have to worry about, you know, it shorting or anything like that when we test fire the TV setup. And if you want, you can remove the speakers. The only reason I remove the speakers is because sometimes when you turn the set over to, you know, take the bezel off or the screen off, they kind of like fall off and they're in the way. But these here, I think I am going to unplug because I might have to take this, just the two wires here. And then we're going to take a loose little IR remote board with the standby indicator light on there. Just go to one side. See this little clip right here? Just clip that. We notice that it's going to the outer bezel, so we're going to take the, just like in all TVs, we'll take the outer bezel off. And there are also some screws on the outer bezels. Got a couple down here, as you can see, right in front of you. That side. And they're also on the side. And of course I'm going to take this loose because I don't want that to get in the way. I just want to show they have screws. You have to pull this tape off here. And they have about 3 screws on both sides, and we also have some tape right here at the top. And we'll pull that out, unscrew those screws. Those look like number 1 Phillips. Yeah, okay. And by that time, the bezel should be ready to come off. Okay. Alright, so we got all of our screws out, and we just flipped it around on its back. And these little tabs right here, you just unclip these, and the outer bezel should come right up all the way around. Let's see if I can zoom in so you can see them. These right here. Just do that all the way around to remove the outer bezel. Another thing I forgot to mention is remove this. This is where the power cord goes into. This is actually located behind the bezel here with the screws some kind of way. But anyway, make sure you remove that, because there's also another silver screw hidden holding this bezel down also. And so that is off. Now let's take off the screen. Okay, I kind of figured it out. These 2 little nozzles right here, just hold these and kind of push it up into the top groove here. Okay, and then pull it out from the bottom. Like I said, be very careful not to pull or tear these ribbon connectors. Okay, I always caution that. Okay, because if you do, it is over with. Okay, now because whoever manufactured the TV, these dumbasses decided to put some tape right here on both sides, and on that side the screen is actually stuck there. As you can see, all parts come up, the back comes up, but it's stuck right here. So right, I think that's why they came out with this new law, right to repair, because of course the manufacturer's going to make more money if you don't get it fixed and buy a new one. That's how the TV repair business works. But we've got a trick for that. We are going to remove, because if you pull on it, you are going to crack the screen, definitely. Okay, so we're going to take this whole outer black piece off. Just unclip it and remove that with the screen, and that way we have to be extra careful with that when we take it off and put it back on. But it shouldn't be any big deal. So we're just unloosen these clips. And these are this is the same bracket for the I believe the diffuser screen is up under here, so we'll just unclip it one at a time. Loosen it up. You don't want to put any hot air or anything on there, and you definitely don't want to stick anything and try to pry it, because that's definitely going to crack it. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. So, no big deal. Okay, we got the screen and also the brackets for the diffuser screens all on one piece. I'm going to set that to the side. Okay, our diffuser screen, there's just 2. Okay, keep those together, and as a matter of fact, I am going to mark them. Always mark the left corner, bottom corner. I'm going to mark it on the actual TV, the frame, on the paper, and also in the bottom corner here, so I know how this goes. And in case I do get them separated, I know which one is what, because you have to put these back on exactly how you took them off. Same order, same side. Okay, usually the thicker one is always the one closest to the LED lights. This one right here, the one that's on top. So, just like that. I'm going to keep these together, put these up. I'm going to I'll just sit these right over here. These are kind of small. And now we have access to our LEDs. So we'll pull the white paper off. Of course, that's glued. I did tear it a little bit, but sometimes you can't avoid tearing it. See how they glued it right there, which is stupid. I'm going to pull this one thing out of here. So let's see. Yeah, they probably got that right in the back of a circuit board. Oh, I mean, look. Okay. Okay, so we've got our white paper off, and we'll see we have 3 strips, and I'm going to go to where the plugs are at, and there should be some test points. The one on the bottom is positive. As you can see, it is marked positive, negative, okay, on each one. Okay. And they also have, each individual LED also has individual checkpoints. Okay, see those dots, one on the right side of it, one on the left side of it. The right is positive, the left is negative. Okay. So, let's see what we got. I've already found the bad LED, so, but let me just show you here. Top one, we have one out, which is shorted. No big deal. We'll go down to the very bottom strip. They're all lit except for the first one. And on this one, we can see the first LED is definitely open. Just jumping around from 290. This one's good. And if I want, I can just go all the way down the line here and check them all. Okay, so this LED is definitely our showstopper. So we'll take it off, remove the cover like in my other videos, get our heat gun, pull it up, and that should be it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is take my hot air and begin to remove this LED. Being careful not to get too close to this plug because you may melt it, damage it. It came right off. Okay, and unfortunately, just like a lot of them, the LED is opposite. The new LED is opposite polarity of the old one. This is my new one here, and this is the positive side on the LED, and the little strip is the negative side, anode, cathode. And here the old one was reversed, so what we're going to do is actually this little skinny strip down here. I don't know if you can see it separated, but that is the positive side, and this big strip is the negative side. So we're just going to scrape some trace off of the negative side to make it longer, so it can match this here. Down to the copper. the actual tip, the actual negative tip of this LED is just barely touching this tip here, right across the little separation line, because you don't want to short it out. And actually what I'm going to do is just get some flux. Put a little on each end. And then we're going to get our soldering iron and tack the LED down. Okay, I'm going to just zoom in for you, that way you can see the little line of separation there. See how both of the pads are separated. Okay, and I want to try my luck on the first shot. Get my soldering iron heated up. Right, nice little pretty thin tip. I'm just going to put some solder on there, on the end. Take my tweezers, if I can find them. Always something missing there. Okay. I'm going to see if I can lay that on there perfectly. Once again, it should go that way, big side going this way. And I'm just going to see if I can just push the edge of this right about there. Right about there, that should do it. Put some more solder on my tip. See if I can tack it down. I don't have much luck, do I? Here we go. Okay. Just need a little solder on my iron. Voila. Same with the other side. Just tack it down. We'll check it. And looks like it's okay. We'll go through the test points. And that LED is good. And I'm going to do the same thing with the other two LEDs that were shorted. And we should be all set. Okay, and like you can see, all the LEDs are lit. Like I said, I had to replace this lens cover, or this LED lens cover with a different one because the other one, the old one, is flat, and because I had to solder, we had to move the LED and I had to solder on the side, it wouldn't fit over there. And so I'm going to go ahead and do these two. You'll probably notice it a little bit on certain scenes, but it's not going to be probably noticeable at all, but as long as it's fixed. Okay, as you can see, all the LEDs are lit up. This is for all you nitpickers out there. You know who you are. Alright, and so we'll just go in reverse to reassemble the TV. We'll put our paper on. I do have it marked, so I know exactly which way it goes. Okay, and there are some notches in here for the paper. Make sure they're all in the notches. And then we'll put our support for our screen, just one. Stick it in there, and pretty much locks into place. Then we'll put on our diffuser screens. Okay, I did keep them together. They're just two screens. I actually wanted to carefully put this to the side so I can get that one in the bottom straight. Okay. And like I said, there are also some notches for the same notches you use for the screen. In most cases, this is smoother. That's the bottom part. The top part is the rough side. Got my little dot right there. You can see that or not, so I know it goes that way. And this is the side that faces up. Those also go inside these three notches on the top and bottom. So that's even. And now we'll carefully put on our main screen. Okay, we got our main screen on. We're going to take all this off in one piece, the actual bracket. Also, just make sure they're all clipped in. Do not press down trying to force it. Just kind of just wiggle around until you catch each of the clips around all four sides. Okay, looks good so far. And then of course we will put our our driver boards. We'll mount those back in. Just pull the tape off and carefully remount those back in so they're flush. Because remember, after that we have to put our steel plate covering, protective covering, after we mount those boards in, and make sure you put the three screws in. And then all we have to do then is put our outside bezel on and screw that back in on all four sides. Simple, right? Oh, another thing that I forgot to mention, which might be easier, just go ahead and plug our cable, our LWS cable, back in the socket for our driver boards. Push that up gently. Okay. Just kind of squeezing on both sides, push it in, and then we'll put on our shield here. Line up the three screws. See, the one in the middle goes right there. And screw it in. Okay, this is our outer bezel. You can actually try to pull most of this tape on the inside off. This little tape. I got pretty much most of it off. Let's see if it's going to go on there correctly without giving me any problems. It should. Be careful not to force it down. Look at all the corners, all the sides. Because remember, we still have to put the screws back in here, okay? Okay, and let's not forget our support thing for our power cord. It goes right there, just one way. Screw that in. Power cord. We'll put in both our speakers, plugging in, plug our speakers back up, and we also plugged it back in our LDVS cable coming from our T-Con board back into our main board. And just kind of might have to tape that down. Almost forgot. Keypad on the side and the infrared indicator right here. Board. That's it. Okay, just so you know, all the screws are the same except for two at the very bottom. Those two there. That's it. Okay, so we have our back cover screw back in, and we'll fire it up. The light should flash a few times. Voila! Money. Okay guys, that's it for this one. Thanks for watching. Give me a thumbs up if you like the video. Make sure that you subscribe. Big Dog out.